So I let the hubby decide on what we might have this week. This one is a little different. It is Blackberry Chicken. It comes from a recipe online, and I will link that below. The original recipe called for sugar and chicken thighs and chicken drumsticks. Not into chicken thighs or drumsticks as much, so I am going to use 4 chicken breasts and slice those in half. But it starts with making a glaze. So we have a 6-ounce package of blackberries that will go into my little pot. These are Wish Farms blackberries. They come from Aldi. 1/4 of a cup of water. Put those in. Put that in. 2 tablespoons of cooking wine or white wine. The whole grain mustard to go in later. So I'm going to go ahead and get this started reducing on a medium heat. I will probably strain out the blackberry seeds. The recipe didn't call for that. I just think that'll be more appetizing. I am going to decide later if I want to add the butter. And the sugar, I'm going to substitute the monk fruit sweetener because of the points. So the monk fruit sweetener I have found to have no funny aftertaste. Because we're working with chicken, I'm a big proponent of containment and cleanliness. So this is the chicken, the Kirkwood all natural boneless chicken breast from Aldi. I haven't opened it yet. It's been thawing in the refrigerator in its own dish, sealed. I don't generally mess with chicken, cook with chicken without gloves on. I'm going to use my plastic cutting board. I have one hand here that has not touched the chicken and one hand that has. The recipe called for 4 chicken thighs and 4 chicken drumsticks. So I'm going to go with 4 of these large chicken breasts, and they have rib meat on them. I do have an absorbent and waterproof pad under the plastic cutting board, which can be sanitized. Now, both hands will be in the chicken, so that's not a big deal, but that's okay. The absorbent pad is plastic on the back. This you can buy at the pharmacy. They're used for lots of different things. They are clean. They're used for, you know, changing tables and things like that. That's what we used them for when our kids were little, changing tables, but now we use them for everything. I will trim up the chicken. There's pieces that I'm just not going to eat. Those will be puppy treats. So the dogs get really excited when I start cooking. You have a thicker piece of the breast and a thinner piece. I'm going to come in and cut this thicker piece here so that we have a little bit more even cooking here. I'm just going to trim off this connective part. So I have some little chicky nuggies too. So I'm kind of picky about chicken or any meat for that matter. Actually, all of my daughters are the same. Sorry guys, they're picky. Yeah, that's okay. My husband, he'll say that I'm picky, and I said that's okay, I picked you. So you got no complaints you can make there. Those blackberries are simmering away. I'm going to take a moment and mash them just a little bit to help them break down. So I'm going to give those just a little bit of a mash. Help them break down some more. We're making blackberry chicken. So this is so interesting. We don't generally cook with fruit. I make a mean lemon Greek chicken, and a Fiesta lime chicken is actually one that was requested for this week. I'm heating up the cast iron pan. Like with grilling, you can season your meat ahead of time. I will salt and pepper these, but I'm not going to do anything else to them. I will come in with the Pam cooking spray, and that will go into the cast iron pan. Cast iron is always seasoned. Mine is. If anybody needs a video on seasoning or babying a cast iron pan, I will be happy to help you with that. I have cooked in cast iron for years, and I promise you it is the way to go. It will take care of you. They do have lots of different, you know, pans and things out there, non-stick and things like that. There are some things that I'll do in my stainless steel. I don't use non-stick pans at all. The recipe said to grill and baste the meat all at the same time. What I'm going to do is get this chicken almost completely done, and then I'm going to return it to the pan and finish it off with while basting it. I don't want to have all that sweetness in the pan at one time and then have to wash the pan and try to grill more of the chicken. This one is still reducing. I'm gonna let it go a little bit further before I add in the monk fruit sweetener. I'm gonna strain it, I do think. The original recipe is beautiful. I will put a link to that. It is from Country Living, so my husband found it. We were just trying to find something different. We're always looking for something novel. It's quote, add a touch of sweetness to your usual chicken dinner with fresh blackberries. So that sounds great. And we do love fruit. The only thing that would add points is going to be the butter. Other than that, the sugar, but we're substituting the monk fruit sweetener, so that took care of that. I don't know if it needs the butter or not, honestly. The chicken for me is 0 points. So I don't know what it would harm to add the butter. Now while I'm working and setting this chicken, stacking it, this chicken on the bottom is a little thicker. I'm feeling the tenderness of this inner piece. I can tell you that this chicken in the middle, this one piece is not quite done. So I'm gonna keep him on the bottom. This one on top, based on the firmness of the meat, I can tell you that that one's done. I'll keep rotating these pieces as I add more. I'm doing that to make room for the new pieces that come in before I add the glaze. Once I add the glaze to these, this pan will have to be scrubbed. The stickiness will just get in there and yeah, we'll have a sticky pan. The little chicken nugget bits. These little bits are, you know, they're not so great for presentation, but when you're cooking, they are great for testing your seasoning, seeing how you like things. Oh, let me taste this little tiny bit, see how it is. So, you know, don't throw those out. Those are essential. Those are you know, great for testing it out. Now that all of the raw chicken is off, I'm going to take that off of the heat. I'm going to take the sauce, the blackberries, white wine, and water. So that reduced down. I mashed the blackberries a few times. I'm going to strain that out, and I'll have to repeat that a couple times just because the amount. If you do this little pile up method, be sure to rotate your stack. I call it a stack. Rotate your stack occasionally. Take the one on top. Take the one on the bottom and put it on top. The one that was in the middle, move it back down so the temperature kind of stays the same. That one's definitely done. So as they get done, I move them off. I'm going to reduce that heat way, way, way down. So I'm returning that to the warm pan. The pan's off the heat now. All that goes back into the pan. Because I haven't worked with monk fruit sweetener before, I'm not really sure how it does as far as dealing with heat and temperature. So I'm going to let this come down from the heat just a little bit. It's still very, very hot. I am going to put in the 2 tablespoons of butter the recipe called for. I just cut right through the paper. 2 tablespoons of butter. Sharp knife. You won't get any little paper bits in there. That'll help bring the temperature down a little bit further. And that's going to, I don't know, maybe just add a richness to the sauce. We'll see if it serves a purpose for us. And if not, next time, it won't make the team. My ½ tablespoon measuring spoon. I'm going to go in with 1 tablespoon of monk fruit sweetener. So all of the chicken has color on it. I can spread it around the pan just a little bit and start in with the glaze. We're going to use about half of the glaze on the chicken itself while it's cooking, or, you know, in the pan. And then reserve about half of it to sauce later. So 1 tablespoon of mustard will go into our glaze. About half of this glaze. Cook the chicken in it for a few minutes. Move the chicken off to a cooking dish and save the other half of the glaze right before it's time to serve. My spoon, it says she believed she could, so she did. That's kind of my thing. Nobody was here to tell me I couldn't do it, so I did it anyway. And usually I did it my way, so that's okay, as long as it works. You can see the back of the spoon is coated in that beautiful blackberry. Let's see how it tastes. Oh my goodness. You have the blackberry flavor, a little bit of the acidity from the mustard and the wine. I guess the richness from the butter. Switching to a clean spoon. I go through tons of spoons. I am going to, remember we are down on a low heat. Make sure that we are filming. Going to put this back over these beautiful pieces of chicken breast. And I'm going to let them sit and be happy for just a little while. Make sure that each piece gets a little bit. I'm going to toss them, turn them. And then when we take it out of the pan, we'll do the same thing. So I'm going to reserve some of this. This looks like plenty. To toss them around in it. You could even save a few blackberries to garnish. So I'm going to give those a lot of love. Remember, all of the chicken is cooked thoroughly. So we're just letting this thicken and give that chicken a lot more flavor. Rub it around in the pan. The blackberry is changing color. I've noticed it might just be because it's marrying with the different colors of the chicken. You'll see that here it has that beautiful purple hue, but it changes to more of a barbecue sauce color as the chicken gets turned and tossed. This is on the lowest heat setting. I have a stinking suspicion that I should have made more chicken. My husband would love to take this for leftovers, I'm sure. And I seriously doubt there will be any. I hope you enjoyed this one. We are so excited to try this one today. We are pairing this with the glazed rainbow carrots. So we'll have lots of purples and oranges and yellows on our plate. And give it a try. Let me know what fruits you like to cook with. Thanks for watching.